Alright, let's get one thing straight. Your body is a whole lot more than just muscles and a few strategically placed hair follicles. It's like a secret club with its own set of rules, and you're the member who's been invited to the VIP lounge without even knowing it. The male body, in particular, has some seriously weird stuff going on under that skin. Stuff you probably didn't learn about in school, but now you will. Think of it as a treasure hunt where every clue leads to something bizarre and fascinating. So what makes the male body unique? Well, for starters, it's got this amazing system called the endocrine system, which is basically the body's internal messaging service. It sends out hormones like testosterone, which isn't just about making you strong. It also plays a role in everything from your mood to your hair growth. But here's the kicker. Even though we often think of testosterone as the main player, it's actually part of a much bigger, more complex game that involves other hormones and organs working together in perfect harmony. Now, let's talk about something you might not have considered. Your body is constantly producing tiny amounts of estrogen. Yep, that's right. While estrogen is often associated with females, males also produce it, albeit in smaller quantities. This hormone isn't just for women. It plays a role in maintaining bone density and even helps regulate your sex drive. So, don't be surprised if you feel a little more energetic or have better balance than you thought. Blame it on the estrogen. But wait, there's more. Did you know that your body has over 100 different types of cells? That's like having a whole city full of different people, each with their own job and responsibilities. And guess what? Some of these cells are doing things you wouldn't expect, like repairing damage or even communicating with other parts of the body in ways we're still trying to understand. It's like your body is running a secret society where every cell has its own unique role. And let's not forget about the male reproductive system, which is more than just testicles and sperm. It's a complex network that includes the prostate gland, seminal vesicles, and even the vas deferens, each playing a crucial part in making sure you can pass on your genes. But here's the twist. These organs aren't just for reproduction. They also have other functions like producing hormones and helping with immune system regulation. So, next time you think about your body, remember that it's doing way more than you might realize. Okay, so you're probably thinking, wait, the male brain? Isn't that just a bunch of muscles and testosterone? Well, let's clear the air. Yes, there are some differences between the male and female brains, but it's not like one is a supercomputer and the other is a toaster. Let's break it down with some surprising facts that might make you rethink your assumptions about brain power. First off, the male brain tends to be slightly larger on average, about 10% bigger than the female brain. But here's the catch. Size doesn't always equal smarts. Think of it like a car engine versus a motorcycle engine. One might be bigger, but that doesn't mean it's faster or more efficient. So while the male brain is physically larger, it doesn't necessarily mean it's better at everything. Now, let's talk about cognitive functions. Studies have shown that men and women often excel in different areas. For example, men tend to perform better on tasks involving spatial reasoning, like mentally rotating objects or navigating through a maze. On the flip side, women usually outperform men in verbal fluency and memory recall, like remembering a list of grocery items or recalling details from a conversation. But hold your horses. Just because there are differences doesn't mean one brain is superior to the other. It's more like a team with different roles. Men might be better at visualizing complex structures, while women often excel in social and emotional intelligence. So if you're trying to figure out who's smarter, it's not about comparing brains. It's about understanding how they work together. Then there's the emotional processing angle. You've probably heard that men are more stoic and less expressive when it comes to emotions. That's partly because of differences in brain structure, specifically the amygdala, which is involved in processing fear and aggression. Men tend to have a larger amygdala, which might explain why they're more prone to aggressive behavior or emotional outbursts, but that doesn't mean they can't feel deeply. It's just a different way of expressing it. Think of it as a silent scream versus a loud one. Alright, let's talk about something that's been around since the dawn of time, sperm. But wait, you're probably thinking, oh no, not another sperm story. Don't worry, we're not going to dive into the deep end of the pool here. We're just going to take a peek at what happens inside the male body before these tiny swimmers even get to the big leagues. You know, the part where they actually meet an egg. So, first things first, sperm isn't just some random stuff that gets produced in the testicles and then magically floats out of the penis like a superhero on a mission. Nope, there's a whole process going on behind the scenes. The testes are the main players here, producing these little guys in a place called the seminiferous tubules. Think of them as the sperm factory, where millions of these tiny swimmers are made every day. But wait, how do they even get out? Well, once they're ready to go, they travel through the epididymis, which is like a long, coiled tube that acts as a training ground for the sperm. It's not just a random walk. It's more of a marathon where the sperm learn how to swim properly and become fully functional. This whole process takes about 64 days, so if you're ever in a hurry, maybe skip the sperm part. Once they've trained, the sperm move into the vas deferens, which is like their highway system. They ride this road all the way up to the prostate gland, where they meet up with fluids from other glands. These fluids are basically the sperm's version of a sports drink, packed with nutrients and enzymes that help them survive the long journey ahead. It's like a spa day for sperm, complete with massage and hydration. Now, here's where things get interesting. The sperm don't just go straight to the penis. They have to make their way through the urethra, which is the tube that carries both urine and semen out of the body. But hold on, there's a catch. The urethra also serves as the exit for urine, so there's a little dance happening here where the body has to decide whether it wants to pee or send sperm on their way. It's like a traffic jam with no stop signs, and the body is trying its best to keep things in order. Alright, let's dive into the world of male glands, because yes, we're talking about more than just hormones. These little powerhouses are like the unsung heroes of your body, working behind the scenes to keep you running smoothly. Take the testes, for example. They're not just where sperm is made, they also produce testosterone, which does way more than make you feel confident. It helps build muscle, maintain bone density, and even affects your mood. So next time someone says, testosterone makes you aggressive, remember, it's also keeping your bones strong and your skin looking good. Then there's the prostate gland, a tiny but mighty organ that plays a big role in male health. It produces fluid that's part of semen, which is essential for fertility. But don't let its size fool you. It can cause some serious issues if it gets out of hand. Prostate enlargement, or benign prostatic hyperplasia, BPH, is super common as men age and can lead to problems like frequent urination or difficulty starting a urine stream. It's not just about getting older. It's about how your body adapts over time. Oh, and let's not forget the adrenal glands, those little glands on top of your kidneys that do way more than just produce adrenaline. They release cortisol to help you manage stress, regulate blood sugar, and even control your metabolism. But here's the kicker. If they're overworked or underactive, it can lead to a whole range of issues from fatigue to weight gain. So while they might not be in the spotlight, they're definitely pulling the strings behind the scenes. There's also the pituitary gland, often called the master gland, because it controls so many other glands in your body. It's responsible for releasing hormones that regulate growth, metabolism, and even reproductive functions. If something goes wrong with the pituitary, like a tumor or malfunction, it can throw your entire hormonal system into chaos. Imagine trying to run a symphony without a conductor. It's a mess. And let's not overlook the thyroid gland, which might seem more like a female concern but is actually crucial for men too. It regulates metabolism and energy levels, so if it's underactive or overactive, you could feel sluggish or hyperactive. Plus, it plays a role in maintaining muscle mass and even mood. So while it's not as flashy as the testes or prostate, it's definitely one of the most important glands in your body. Alright, let's talk about something that's both fascinating and a little awkward, your testes. Yeah, we all know they're where sperm is made. But did you know they also have a secret superhero role? It turns out, these little guys are more than just the source of your genetic material. They're actually helping to protect your body from diseases. That's right, your testes aren't just for making babies. They're part of your immune system too. How does that work? Well, it's all about something called antibody production. The testes produce certain proteins that help fight off infections and even some cancers. So next time you're feeling a bit under the weather, remember, your testes might be working overtime to keep you healthy. But wait, there's more. Your testes also play a role in regulating hormones, which affects everything from your mood to your muscle strength. They produce testosterone, the hormone that gives men their signature traits like deep voices and strong muscles. But here's the kicker. Even though they're responsible for making testosterone, they're actually quite sensitive to stress and other external factors. That's why some guys might feel a bit more anxious or tired when they're under pressure, because their testes are reacting to it. It's like having a tiny, hormone-driven weather forecast inside your body that can change based on what's going on around you. Now, here's something even more surprising. The testes have a unique ability to regenerate. Unlike most organs in the body, which can't really grow back once damaged, the testes can actually repair themselves to some extent. This is because they contain stem cells that can develop into new sperm-producing cells. So if you ever had an injury or infection that affected your testes, there's a chance your body might be able to bounce back, though it's not always guaranteed. It's like having a backup plan for your reproductive system, just in case things go sideways. But don't get too comfortable. This regeneration process is still being studied and isn't fully understood yet. Another cool fact, the testes are actually one of the few organs that can move around inside the body. That's why you might feel them when you're lying down or during certain movements. This mobility helps protect them from damage, especially during physical activity. But here's a twist. This movement isn't just for protection. It also plays a role in maintaining their temperature. Since sperm production requires a slightly cooler environment than the rest of your body, the testes have to stay a few degrees colder. That's why they're tucked into the scrotum, which acts like a natural thermostat. So next time you feel your testes moving around, remember, it's not just random. It's part of their survival strategy. And finally, let's talk about something that might make you blush. Your testes are actually quite sensitive to touch and temperature. That's why some guys might get a little more aroused when they're in certain situations or wearing tight clothes. But this sensitivity isn't just for pleasure. It also helps regulate their function. If the testes get too hot, sperm production can drop, which is why they're designed to stay cool. So while you might think your testes are just there for show, they're actually working hard to keep everything in balance, both literally and figuratively.